If you'd found a portal to an alternate reality with 6-foot-tall beavers, dodgy-looking fawn men who kidnap children, and where Santa Claus gives deadly weapons to kids as Christmas gifts, would you think twice about stepping through? Well, as this is 1988 we're talking about, I'm guessing not. Different times. Hello and welcome to this retrospective look back at The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, a 1988 TV miniseries that was based on the first book in C.S. Lewis's Chronicles of Narnia book series. I'm RetroSteveUK, and in this video we're going to be looking at the show's history and story, including the book it was based on, and some of the other adaptations that have been made as well. We'll be looking into how we can watch it now in 2026 and beyond, and I'll have a few of your memories to share in the featured comment section before finishing up with a digitally restored TV promo that originally aired back in 1988. And don't forget, if you need to jump around to different parts of the video, you can use the chapter markers that I've placed along the video timeline. Overall, this TV production hasn't aged particularly well, with some odd-looking costumes and a spattering of awkward action sequences, but as always with childhood TV programs of this era, it has a charm and an innocent appeal that's often missing from modern-day productions, and judging from a lot of your comments on the subject, it's still a favourite that's regularly rewatched by many on a yearly basis every Christmas. The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe was first aired by the BBC back in 1988 as 6 half-hour episodes, one every Sunday in the lead-up to Christmas between November the 13th and December the 18th, just 1 week before Christmas Day. Based on the classic children's books by C.S. Lewis, The Chronicles of Narnia, this was the first instalment of 3 BBC productions, the other 2 following in 1989 and 1990, but this particular show does stand well on its own as a complete story without necessarily having to watch the other 2, as it leaves us at the end with no real cliffhangers to worry about. Briefly covering the plot of The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe now, we're introduced to 4 siblings from the Pevensey family, Peter, Susan, Edmund and Lucy, as they're evacuated to a country mansion during World War II. After being welcomed by the good-natured homeowner, they settle in and proceed to explore the mansion, and this is where Lucy, the youngest sibling, discovers a portal to the magical land of Narnia in the back of a wardrobe in the spare room. There she meets a friendly fawn called Mr. Tumnus, who turns out to be under the thumb of an evil witch. He's under strict instructions to kidnap any human children who happen to turn up in Narnia, but after lulling her to sleep under false pretenses, his conscience gets the better of him and he sends her home with a warning about the evil White Witch. Of course, Lucy's siblings don't believe her fantastical story about the land of Narnia, particularly as no time has passed in the human world while Lucy was in Narnia for many hours, and much to her distress, the portal seems to have disappeared. During a game of hide-and-seek, however, she discovers that the portal is once again open, and this time she's followed by her brother Edmund. Unable to find Lucy, who is off visiting Mr. Tumnus, Edmund comes across the White Witch, who claims to be the Queen of Narnia. The spoiler alert at this point is that there's a prophecy that 4 sons and daughters of Adam and Eve, i.e. humans, will one day appear in Narnia and take the throne. So the evil witch is understandably nervous about humans randomly showing up. She charms and plies Edmund with magic wishes, and he wishes for Turkish delight, which he's apparently obsessed with, and she manages to extract information from him about his 3 siblings, so she sends him away to bring them back to her palace after successfully gaslighting him into believing that she only has good intentions and that she'll make him a prince if he complies. Upon returning, Lucy runs to tell Peter and Susan about the portal's reappearance, but Edmund is afraid of looking silly, so he pretends that he and Lucy were just playing a game. A twist of circumstance, however, leads them to looking for somewhere to hide from the stern housekeeper, and they all end up in the spare room where the wardrobe door magically opens, beckoning them in through the portal, and they discover that Lucy was telling the truth all along. Lucy leads them to Mr. Tumnus's house, where they discover it's been ransacked, with a notice left by the captain of the White Witch's secret police, who happens to be a wolf, explaining that Mr. Tumnus has been charged with high treason for fraternising with humans. Lucy explains that this is her fault, and the children come to a decision that it's their responsibility to stay in Narnia and help save Mr. Tumnus. This, and the knowledge that Edmund may well have ulterior motives involving a throne and an endless supply of Turkish delight, sets us up nicely for the rest of the story, and the children set out on their adventures in Narnia. Along the way, they make friends with a family of beavers who assist them in their quest. They meet Father Christmas, who gifts them with tools and weapons to help them in their battles against the witch. They meet Aslan, a magical lion with the power and knowledge to defeat the witch, and many other magical and mystical creatures play a part in helping the children fulfill their destiny to defeat the witch, take the throne, and save the land of Narnia from the endless winter inflicted upon it by the evil queen. There have been a few screen adaptations over the years, all based on various books from the original Chronicles of Narnia collection, written in the 1950s by C.S. Lewis, and a box set of all 7 books can be picked up quite easily today for under 20 quid. In 1967, the first screen adaptation was produced for ITV. It was filmed in black and white and consisted of 10 30-minute episodes, but sadly it's now classified as lost media, with only 3 badly preserved episodes now available to watch, one of which is audio only, and you can have a look at the 2 remaining episodes for yourself on YouTube at the link I've shared in the description. In 1979, an animated feature film was produced by the Children's Television Workshop, who were also responsible for producing Sesame Street. You can check this out as well again on YouTube, and that link is also in the description. 1988 obviously brought us the version we're covering in this video, but in more recent years, Walden Media produced 3 bang-up-to-date screen adaptations with modern CGI effects. 3 movies, The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe in 2005, Prince Caspian in 2008, and The Voyage of the Dawn Treader in 2010 were all critically acclaimed cinema releases, which are easily accessible through the major online streaming services by renting or subscribing, and of course they're also available to buy as physical releases as well. As for the future, the screen rights to the Chronicles of Narnia series are currently held by Netflix, and production is underway for the first in a series of planned films, starting with Narnia, the Magician's Nephew, which is due to release in IMAX cinemas, then on Netflix, in late 2026. Going back to the 1988 version we're looking at in this video, watching it now has never been easier, as it's been uploaded to YouTube, which you can easily find with a quick search, and physical copies are readily available online for as little as under £5. In addition to these options, the BBC has just recently released a digitally remastered box set of all 3 late 80s Chronicles of Narnia TV serials on Blu-ray and DVD, which you can pick up for $29.99. These include a feature-length documentary called The Return to Narnia, featuring interviews with the original cast and crew, including all 4 of the actors who played the Pevensey children. As is now customary in these videos, I asked across my social media platforms for your comments on this 1988 version of The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, and here's what a few of you had to say. From Blue Sky Social, Harry Kilmer hasn't watched it since he was young, but between this and a recent rewatch of The Box of Delights, he can only surmise that the upper classes had no idea what their children were getting up to. Over on Instagram, John McLennan at Drams and Dreams offers an alternative viewpoint, as he remembers some of it but not really liking it, and he lists it amongst some of the programmes he disliked as a child, including Black Beauty and Lassie. From my YouTube community posts, 33rpm73 reckons this is the BBC at its best. Their 1980s children's drama adaptations were all magical, and this is definitely in their top 3, along with The Children of the Green Know and The Box of Delights. Actually, as that's come up a couple of times now, it's probably worth mentioning the Box of Delights video I made a few years ago. I'll pop that on screen at the end if you're interested. Relentless Rescue recently watched it for the first time and thinks Barbara Kellerman's portrayal of the White Witch is simultaneously menacing and glamorous. She nailed the tyrant nature of the character, and it was a great casting, with this being by far the best version of them all. Box of Delights comes up again as Christian Newton thinks these 2 productions remain the peak of 80s children's television drama. There was something very special about watching The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe in the run-up to Christmas in 1988. It remains an annual festive rewatch, and the newly remastered Blu-ray edition is superb and worth a purchase if only to see the Pevensey children reunited in the new feature-length documentary that's included as an extra. And finally, Mr. Monk at Monk One Love remembers it was shown on BBC One on a Sunday at 5ish, just after the Antiques Roadshow, which was something his antiques dealer dad always used to watch. The family would all sit down to watch it, and his mum had read them the books, so they were all really excited to watch the TV show in 1988 just before Christmas. They also watched the follow-up shows Prince Caspian, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader in 1989, and The Silver Chair in 1990, and these are all great family memories. So before we finish off now with a look at a 1988 TV promo for The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, I'd like to invite you to share your thoughts in the comments, particularly if you remember watching it in the run-up to Christmas 1988. And if you want to be featured in a future retrospectives video, follow me on my various social media platforms, where I'll be asking for your comments whenever I'm working on something new. And that just leaves me to thank everyone who submitted their comments, to thank you for liking and subscribing, and of course to thank you all for watching Retrospectives.
Coming soon to BBC One, The Chronicles of Narnia, beginning with The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, C.S. Lewis's classic tale of magic and mystery in a faraway land.
magic. It's a magic wardrobe. There's a wind inside it, and it's snowing, and there's a former I had tea with, and a witch, and the place is called Narnia. Come and see.
The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, coming soon to BBC One.